What's going on, everyone? It's Dewey here, and thanks for watching my YouTube channel. First off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because I'm always bringing some new content. I'm in Montana right now, Kalispell, Montana. Glacier National Park is literally right here, and just flew in, and a friend, Jay Billmayer, I'm in his hangar, and it's raining right now outside, but he has a beautiful hangar with some really cool airplanes, and I am going to have him talk to you and tell you all about his Buckers, his Cub. He has a Ryan, he has a 180, but we have a Traveler, all these cool airplanes. So stay tuned. Let's go meet Bill. Hey Bill, how you doing?
All right. Dewey, welcome to our hangar. Said you wanted me to talk about the Buckers, and of course, in my mind, and I think everyone would agree, the ultimate Bucker is the Jungmeister. And I have here a version that I built. I started building it in 2005 and finished in 2017, first flight. I put 350 hours on it now, and it's been all over the country, and it is a delight to fly. Got 180 horse Lycoming on it. Got the reliability of a modern engine and the character and the, I guess, this flying sweetness of the old biplane, and it's really fun. I've done. Each year I'll do some kind of a major cross-country in it. Been to a number of the aviation events. It's been to Blakesburg 3 times. It's had some showing, and as I said, it's a modern engine. I've got modern instruments, and everything else is as true to plans as we could make it. Of course, the finish is the polyfiber process, and color scheme I kind of came up with on my own, although it does replicate some of the squadron hacks that the guys in the 1940s had in Germany. Bucher's designed airplanes, or actually he was the industrialist. The guy named Anders Anderson actually designed the Bucker biplanes. Started with the Jungmann, and we'll talk about, I've got an example of that, we'll talk about that in a minute, but he started with the Jungmann in 34, and then by 1935 they wanted to take the wonderful flying qualities of the Jungmann and enhance that, and perhaps end up with a higher performing airplane, and they designed the Jungmeister. About 65% of the parts are the same. They took the wing design is the same. They just shortened the wingspan 1 meter. Compressed the ribs, the same number of ribs. They just moved them together. Fuselage was shortened. This airplane weighs 960 pounds. My Jungmann weighs 1,027 pounds. And a lot of that is extra fuel and extra cockpit and controls. So this airplane is a C model. It was 1938 was the plans that I used. They put a little more depth in the fuselage so you could fly knife edge much easier. I think from 1936 until Curtis Pitts came along, this probably was the most renowned aerobatic airplane in existence. It's the end of the biplane era, so you have all the nice modern or sophisticated controls. Good aileron system, all mounted on ball bearings. Controls are all push rod. At least in the wing controls, 4 ailerons. The elevator system is kind of unique in that it has a counterbalance. It's got the control horn or bearing horn, and so as you increase the pitch, it's actually scooping air along the bottom. And then the elevator functions more as an airfoil as opposed to a deflector. The rudder, of course, is pretty common. It's cable drive. The only weakness of Bucker that I've found is the landing gear. It's fairly tender, and it has a lot of moving parts, all of which wear. And you can see it's an oleo system. And I've got modern Cleveland wheels and brakes. The rest of it is standard Bucker stuff. To improve the ground handling, there's been a few modifications. The gear is spread out about another 3 inches, and other than that, it's pretty original. Up in the engine compartment, we designed a cowling that matched the Lycoming. The original Bucker had 7 cylinders, a Siemens engine. With the Lycoming flat engine, if you try to put a round cowling on it and use 7 bumps, you end up with too big a diameter, and it looks pretty hokey up front. So what we did was eliminate a bump and move the bumps over the cylinders, and held the original inlet diameter and tail skirt diameter. From the side view, it looks like the original Jungmeister in proportion. But to cover up the Lycoming, we had to make the skirt about 3 inches longer. So we built the molds here and did some fiberglass castings, and it's turned out to be quite practical, and the engine cools just fine. Mated with the Lycoming engine, which is an IO 360, 180 horsepower. Then we added a Kato propeller, which this is an 8250 propeller, and it seems to be a good fit for this airplane. Straight and level, it goes up to 2700. It gets you off short. It's nice long blades. Just pretty happy with the Kato. Balanced up very easily.
What is that box there that's under the wing?
Well, that I'm in my 70s, and I seem to have hit a threshold where my depth perception started to go. And anybody who's landed tailwheel airplanes knows that you need to have a good handle on when your mains are going to touch. So that's ground proximity radar, and it was developed for glassy water landings for seaplanes. I found out about it. It's called Flare Assist, available under that name from a fellow in Florida, and you get an audio countdown of how high your wheels are off the runway. And this airplane starts at 100 feet, which is a bit excessive. Another version starts at 30 feet, which is about right. And it just gives you a countdown. It's kind of a log scale. But as you get down below 10 feet, it gives you each foot. And when it starts telling me I'm at 2 feet, I want the stick back, I want the throttle back, and it just settles in quite nicely. And it improved my ability to land this airplane immensely. And for an older guy, I highly recommend it.
That's awesome. I didn't know that that's available for GA airplanes.
Yeah, and it's fairly reasonable. It's and the fact that it's simple. You put an audio link into your radio that's the same as if you had an intercom, and some power to it. And the calibration was quite simple.
Wow.
And it's been very reliable.
This is fuel tank here?
Yeah, fuel tank. Bucker holds, let's see, I think I flight planned this at 25 gallons.
Okay.
And
fuel gauge?
Yeah, it's got the old float and spring fuel gauge, but I actually have FS 450 fuel monitor in the airplane, and it's coupled to the GPS, so it gives you gallons to your next station, and it's pretty handy, especially
Yeah.
when you're short of fuel with only 25 gallons.
This is one thing that's unique about Bucher's also is the boots that they have covering up all the flying wires, and it's just
A lot of the German airplanes from the 30s and 40s, they used wood and leather. The Spanish continued to use leather in their airplanes up into the 60s. They're not a lot of fun to put on, but they look nice and they seal up, and keeps the mud daubers out.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is unique. We talked about it with the Jungmann, but you have pull ailerons.
Right. There's a flying wire that. And if you've flown airplane with slave struts, you know that an airfoil or a streamlined slave strut can actually get a harmonic and start to vibrate. And a lot of guys put stall strips on them, and there's a lot of techniques to get rid of that. Don't have that problem with this,
Man,
because either the wire's relaxed or it's in tension, one or the other. And
well, it's the Jungmanns that I've flown with Andrew is it's very positive flight controls. It's probably the most positive flight controls you'll ever have with a small GA airplane, with especially biplanes and things. It's quite amazing. So
the Jungmeister is just a few degrees more sensitive,
okay,
and it's not twitchy, but it's right there.
yeah. Well, can we talk about the Jungmann real quick?
Sure. This is an all-new airplane, or for the most part, it's brand new. The fuselage was built by Joe Kribus in the late '80s. He made 3 fuselages. This is number 3. It sat around for a long time. I bought it in, I think, 2002 or 3. It came with a bunch of wrecked parts. It came with a wrecked Jungmann. And I needed those parts to build wings, of course. And an unbent fuselage in a Bucker Jungmann is pretty rare because they were trainers, and they got beat around quite a bit. So this fuselage only has an hour and a half on it, which I just flew it the other day for the first time. It's unique in that Kribus realized that they needed a little more cockpit space for the bigger people that are walking around now versus 1930s and 40s and young kids flying them. So the front cockpit's been extended 1 inch and the back cockpit 2 inches, and yet the overall length of the aircraft stayed the same. So this rear seat bulkhead has actually been moved back 3 inches. This one's moved back 1, and it's just right. It's very spacious. Got a little more leg room for the rudders are up alongside the passenger, and anybody that's been in a Bucher knows they're tight. So I think it was a nice modification. It worked well, but it did change some of the internal linkages, and I kept bumping into that as I was building it. I would have a original Jungmann part, but then I'd have to extend it.
Right.
Like the throttle push rods and that.
Yeah.
All had to be modified. The seats were the same. I actually built these seats because there are no surplus Bucher seats around. They're either bent up or corroded.
Well, you built the whole airplane. What are you talking about?
The cowling and engine, well, the engine's the same. It's an identical engine that's on the Jungmeister, built by Aerosport Power up in Kamloops, BC. 180 horse Lycoming. I decided to try the Sensionist ground adjustable propeller. I'm experiencing, I'm on a learning curve getting it tuned. The cowling is an original Kribus cowling that came in 5 or 6 pieces. It had a front bowl, and it had cheek panels that came off, and a bottom kind of a chin panel here that came off. I glued all those together and then split it down the middle, as you would find with a Woody Manier cowl. I owned a Jungmann that had that cowl, and I liked the way you could remove a full half of it and get at everything. And so I just modified this cowling to do that, and it ended up with some pretty clean lines. You don't have a bunch of panel screws throughout it, and I'm using cam lock fasteners, and so I replicated the side panels. They're typical Jungmann look, but I'm using modern fasteners, and we modified the fuselage to accept cam locks. Fuel tank is it's actually a Czech fuel tank that I got from a friend, Mike Malash, and then I added a aux tank. Jungmanns are notoriously short of fuel. They're only about 22 gallons, and so I added another 5 gallons down in the footwell for the passenger, and come up with a shape that gives the passenger leg room, and yet I've get extra 5 gallons of fuel.
I see your tack here. Is that the main tack?
Yeah, the external tachometer. That's I think an excellent solution to the problem of a split tack drive. If you had a tack in the front cockpit and you had a tack in the back cockpit, you're starting to add up a lot of cable links and a lot of drag and a lot of gears to be turning. This is perfect. The front passenger, if you were an instructor, you could see the tack, and you can see it quite easily from the back, especially when you're making pattern turns. And it's a feature that is really nice to have. The rest of the panel is set up almost identical to the Jungmeister. You got the Garmin 660, you got XM weather, ADS-B traffic, got the 450 fuel flow. This one I went with a digital combination of G meter and voltmeter. And then we're using trig radios, which have the remote head. And if you then you can put the actual radio boxes anywhere. In this case, they're in the luggage area.
Wow.
So seems to be a good combination. It's working for us. And my friend Hank Galpin just walked in. He's a neighbor and airplane builder and
co-conspirator.
Pretty good, yeah, a pretty good critic.
Yeah, man. Well, it's really good to see you. How I think what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this on pause, everyone, so I can talk to Hank and say hello. Well, actually, no, I won't. Hank, how you been?
I'm great. Thanks.
You probably don't want to be on here, but
well, Hank's the guy that's been spreading the Bucker disease around the country.
Yes,
I think he's owned the Bucker longer than anybody that I know.
And Travel Air. He has the Travel Air 6000. So as you can see, it's on his hat there.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's really the Jungmann looks like the Jungmeister. It has. The gear looks the same. The only, if you guys can notice, there's 2 seats, and the Jungmeister is a single seat. And if you ever watch The Great Waldo Pepper, Ernst Kessler is the one flying a Jungmeister. He comes by inverted, and Dillhofer says, "Oh, that crazy Kraut," and that's Ernst Kessler flying a Jungmeister inverted. So. They fly exceptionally well. Aerobatics are amazing, but yeah, I think we covered this pretty well. Also, it's we're teaching you how to fly, and it's teaching us a few things too. But it is a delight. I haven't been in a Jungmann for about 8 years, and well, since Andrew bought my old one. Yeah.
And anyway, it's fun, and it's a little more difficult than the Jungmeister, but that's a good thing, because if you're training somebody, they should be learning. It should be teaching you something.
Right. Well, can we go through the Ryan real quick, just a real quick overview, and just talk about it? I thought it was an STA, but found out it's a Ryan PT-20,
Right.
and it looks like an STA, ST, but he showed me some features that's pretty unique. And he's going to be restoring this, so maybe in the next couple years I'll be able to come in here and do a little update. One thing has longeron on the outside, so you have more room inside the fuselage. If you look at like an ST, like what I flew, you didn't have all that room, and the cockpit is cut out a lot more in this airplane. I mean, this is a military grade spec airplane. Same landing gear system, same struts, same wing, same engines. It had a Monasco in it, and it would be 125 horse, I believe. So we'll get a little overview and let you see what it looks like, and then once he starts finishing it, you can see the difference. You think you'll paint it, or will it be polished?
Well, the reason why it wasn't polished, it was restored in the late 1960s by a friend of mine, Dave Masters. Dave lived in California, and Dave's getting pretty along in years. He's in his 90s, and decided it was time for it to go. I happened to send him a Happy New Year greeting about 3 years ago and said, hey, you know, your Ryan's always been on my bucket list. And he said, I can help you with that. And so we eventually made a deal, and it came out of a museum in San Martin. And my wife and I hauled it home. And, well, we had to disassemble it to get it in the truck. And anyway, we hauled it home, and it sat right here now for about 2 years while I finished the Jungmann. So now that project is about wrapped up, we're going to start focusing on this. We're going to strip some parts, see if how bad the corrosion was, and I think I can polish it out. I restored and polished a Luscombe Observer that had been a spray plane, and it was severely corroded, and we brought it around. So I think there's a good possibility this thing's going to be polished.
Well, I can't wait to see it finished.
Hank is insisting we redo all the covering. It's 1960s, it's Seconite, but it has some enamel paint on it, and I think that's all going to go.
Okay.
It just needs to be brought back. The cables are old, all the hoses are old. It just needs some loving care, and it's going to get it right here.
Yes.
Our biggest problem, I think, we're faced with is someone knowledgeable in Monascos, and it came with the engine that's on it. I think it's only got 150 hours. I've got another engine with about 500 hours, and then another engine that's unknown. So I think I've got enough parts. It's a challenge, but we're gonna try to face it and get this thing back in the air.
Well, that's awesome.
This has been a dream of owning a Ryan. Goes back to even before I bought a J3 Cub. It's just such an iconic looking airplane, and my wife fell in love with it as well. So I'm getting a lot of encouragement to keep going. So
I'm glad you have it. I tell you, what little bit I got to fly it, they're beautiful, and there's something about them.
yeah.
So, well, I think we probably should end this because I'm eventually have to get back to work here.
Well,
And
thanks for coming by, Dewey. We always enjoy seeing you, and you'll always be welcome here in Kalispell.
yeah, well, thank you so much, and I hope to see you sooner than later. And it's only been like, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll come back in about 6 months in good weather, and maybe you can go out and fly around and shoot some video. That'd be great.
We got a young one waiting for you.
All right, Jay.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. So that is the overview, the walkthrough, the pre-flight of Bucker Jungmann, Jungmeister, a PT. I'm kind of running out of time because I have to go and get on the other side of the airport to do a little bit of work. But man, I'm gonna go and talk to Hank. I haven't got to talk to him in a while. Jay, we're gonna just do some catching up here before I have to be over there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll try to update you with the Ryan, and until then, blue skies.